Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your late November reading. I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling, and my intention is to have a look at what it is that Gemini will probably be going through, facing, deal with, challenged by, indulging with throughout the Venus and Capricorn cycle. Venus tends to stay within a sign within 40 days, give or take. But there's something about this particular transit that I've been really drawn towards. Venus really asks us to think about what is important to us when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to how we take care of ourselves. But just sort of tuning into the energy, like I kind of got right off the bat for Gemini. You're gonna have to deal with some disappointment within your friendships. I feel like there's going to be a shift in your alliances and who you thought you could call a friend. Wow, what's underneath there? Transmute. I think in some ways Geminis are going to be put into this situation where um they have to start taking a completely different approach as to whom they call a friend. Like Gemini, like, your sign is ruled within Mercury. I self identify as a Gemini. I'm sorry, not sorry. And sometimes we can get really lively, communicative, really get involved with all kinds of things. I'm hearing issues and stuff. Like it's kind of shallow what it is that I'm feeling. I do have the card of gratitude, and regardless if you live within the United States or not, by the end of the month of November, when I'm channeling this, United States will be going into Thanksgiving, the holidays, and things like that. It's sort of like, don't go out of your way to start making a bunch of different changes in your reality. In some ways, you're being asked to sort of stick on the current path and wait to see what could happen. Well, we got the card of home. Many of you will either be feeling nostalgic, hanging out, in your home of origin, familiar friends. Like, for me, Thanksgiving in the United States, it doesn't really have much meaning to it because I've got family who live in a different country and we celebrate Thanksgiving like in October. So for me personally, the holiday feels moot. And regardless if you're very celebratory or not, during this time, there is still this pocket where you can feel gratitude, but I feel like a lot of you have been stuck with the tradition. Well, of course you go home. Well, of course this is the way that you do this. There's a lot of conversation and just hearing this, like, everyone talking over each other. "Ah, what's going on?" It's almost a little bit too much. It feels much, much. Oh, wow. Got the card of protection. Let's keep going. Fire. Like, oh man, Thanksgiving's gonna suck for somebody. Karmic path. Why did I do this? Why did I put myself through this again? Like, I've been making the joke this week where, you get shit faced on tequila once every 5 years just to remind yourself why you don't get shit faced on tequila. I'm really sorry to laugh. But Gemini, I get this feeling sort of like you're prepared to give somebody or something another chance. You're prepared to, maybe this person could improve. Maybe this person, they can give me a chance to show me that they have changed. And there's just something about this social experiment. It's always good if you make a you should put a hypothesis together, all you science brains, and it's like Gemini has created this hypothesis where, okay, I'll take you home for the holidays. Okay, I'll go home for the holidays. However, I have this weird feeling that the person who it is that I'm going to be spending time with, I feel like they haven't changed, but there's this real need for Gemini to really see somebody for who they actually are. And I really feel like Geminis are going to be coming out of this self-hypnotized spell. Uh, did I make a fetish joke with you guys earlier? It's kind of hard sometimes. One energy does blend into one another. But there's something very surface level. Okay, I think that was Taurus I'm thinking about. There's something very surface level about your approach to the holidays, your approach to family, your approach to even career that you're kind of conducting a bit of an experiment on. We do have Page of Cups, and I'm not even accusing you necessarily of being mean about it. It's like, I would never experiment on somebody else. Well, when you here's the cute way of being benevolently experimental. Like every so often, I message my friend, and because he's a dude and I am a girl, and every so often I just ask him random stupid questions because there are certain aspects of his physicality that I don't understand. I'll ask silly questions like, so what's it like to have a beard? Like, if I have facial hair, I get self-conscious. I'm sitting in the mirror and I'm trying to pluck all of those hairs out. I feel kind of weird about it, but it's like, you're a dude. You embody the beard. How does that make you feel? Like it's a bit of a social experiment. So that's actually a little bit more in the vein of what it is that I'm feeling. Three of Wands, like, I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. You can count on me to really show what it is that I actually saw this Christmas. Wow, Eight of Swords. Um, whatever this benevolent experiment is, like, in some ways, you're not being that much of a jerk. Like, I've been picking up some energies, even with the Divine Masculine Collective and looking into people who are sort of outside of your energy. There's a lot of people in the external world where they're being pushed out against their will. They are being put into situations that they really did not want to have to deal with. It's sort of like, can we just talk about our relationship problems later? And the other person responds, well, maybe we won't have a relationship to talk about in the first place. Like, people are very heated up, and I've already seen for 2025, there are going to be a lot of public facing divorces, being more and more aware within the collective consciousness, like, no, not them. Like, but people's true nature are coming up to the surface, and you're kind of this early adopter trying to end a particular cycle so that you can finally bring in something brand new. What's this card of protection? I want to be stuck at home. Like, it's this feeling where, "Ugh, I don't want to have to hang out with these people. I don't want to. Okay, I get it. Like, it's not that they're bad. It's just they're them." Whoa, the cards nearly slipped out. I'm suddenly feeling hot and feverish. There's a bit of an activation going on. Two of Wands, like I said at the beginning of this, don't use this reading to completely change up all of your plans if that's not what you're being divinely guided to do. It's more so to confirm if you feel like, okay, I know exactly how this is going to go down. I know exactly how this will manifest. Like, you're putting out the hypothesis to the universe, and you're working with morbid curiosity to see what happens. But the problem is that a past version of you who has done this, you forgot you were performing an experiment, and you just allowed yourself to be disappointed. You're just being asked to take a moment. What is the purpose behind this hypothesis? What are your goals? If you're trying to see if someone is just going to behave who it is that they are, well, here's some context. Maybe you get into a fight with a partner, and it's just a couple of weeks before the holidays, and it's sort of this feeling like, okay, you know what, like, let's just patch this up. I'm really stressed out about this. Like, let's go on a nice trip together. Let's try to reconnect. Let's get through the holidays and then see how we feel. You're actually just delaying the inevitable. But what we have up here, the card of the Sun, Seven of Pentacles, Justice. Oof. Okay. All these cards I do keep in the upright, but my right ankle is not feeling super stable here, and the right side is masculine side. I'm sorry to say that, like, however this experiment is destined to go down, it's one of these things where you're going to recognize that you really did wait too long. When you're trying to say pick fruit off of a tree, like, there are some fruits out there like oranges and apples. They're pretty open-minded as to when harvest season is supposed to be. But if you have something like, say, pears, peaches, nectarines, like there's a very finite amount of time that that particular fruit will reach its optimum freshness. I think with the pear, it only has the optimal ripeness for like 10 minutes. It's like, fuck you, pears. But when I find the pear that's the perfect ripeness, like there's a little bit of the sunk cost fallacy in what it is you're trying to prove to yourself. And it's sort of like the divine's trying to show you, yeah, you left your grapes out in the sun for too long. Sure, you got raisins out of it and you can still eat the raisins, but was that really what you wanted in the first place? This is the problem. Like, you are trying to make the most of a lackluster situation, but you keep getting the lackluster results. And it's okay to be open-minded and thoughtful and go with the energy where it's like, okay, this didn't manifest the way that I thought it did, but that's okay. Go a little deeper with that. Because there's someone in here that has such a I don't mean this in a mean way. Like you have a very low vibrational energy on you. That's a lack mindset that say if you were packing your groceries into the car, you wrap up your grocery store thing and you're sitting behind the trunk and you're kind of taking one bag after the next, putting them in. But if somebody ran up, stole your cart and took off with half of your fruits and vegetables, on one hand, sure, you can be angry and annoyed, but there's an energy on you that's like, well, I guess they needed it more than me. And there's an ask within here. Why the hell were you in an energy that you thought it was okay for someone to steal from you in the first place? You actually do have a lot of people who've been slowly siphoning you from your home place. And the frustrating part is that this could be from your phone. Like, we don't really leave our families in the same way anymore. Post-industrial revolution, you go from the rural counties and you get a job in the city. And if you even had access to mail at the time, you'd have to write, you have to go out of your way to write letters if you ever felt like writing letters. But these days, you just take your phone and you could live 1,000 miles away from your parents, and yet somehow they always know how to contact you. This is going to be regarding somebody that they're way too much in contact with their family to the point that everyone's bored. It's like, yeah, we got grapes again. Yeah, we're drying them in the sun. Yeah. Oh, we can categorize the grapes. Oh, we've got white grapes. We've got the purple grapes. Why is my life like this? I'm still trying to shuffle for the card of fire. But there's an ask within here. It's okay to understand that you want to postpone the inevitable for, a couple of more weeks. So be it. You are looking for the opportunity to speak your truth. But when you get the results, can you just believe that's exactly what you manifested? In some ways, because with the card of fire, this is about your passion projects and your ability to move forward and do things autonomously with great passion and fervor. These people are just raining on your parade, and you wanted to make wine while these people are content with raisins. And again, there's nothing wrong with raisins, but that's not what you were looking for in the first place. After all that shuffling, got the card of the high priestess. I really feel like your eyes are going to be opening over the next couple of weeks. There's a reason why. It's like, don't change your plans, just change how you're going to observe the situation. Like, I have been talking a lot about managing our energy, going with the flow, making sure that we're not pouring ourselves into situations that are draining, and maybe cutting and running or completely changing up your holiday routine is just not in the cards. Like, I've just got this, oh God, please don't make me think about having a change with this. I can deal later. It's okay to postpone. It's okay to hit the snooze button. But you had a habit of snoozing the button on this for far too long that this fire is basically burned out at this point. So what do we got up here? Six of Wands, like, we didn't start the fire. Like, there is some victory within here. But it does start with you being solo and autonomous and not being super concerned about how other people may perceive you. Six of Swords, I like that. Along with the Two of Cups, okay. Like, in order to make the most of this timeline, to make the most of this quote unquote experiment, there's something about you just shining on your own, even if the person's standing next to you. Because in some ways you need to see how this person actually is. Are they getting competitive with you? And it's not even a mind game. You're just being asked to be yourself. And if you're being asked to behave in a certain way that doesn't honor who it is that you are, well, then don't indulge it. You don't need to fight it. You don't need to be angry about it. You don't even need to throw in your oppositional defiance disorder in order to prove a point. You're trying to show how the other person is dysregulated. This other individual or these people, whatever this housing situation, this family situation is, they have a lot of problems with keeping calm. They love rocking the boat. And in some ways, the only thing that you guys have in common is talking about subjects that rock the boat. Especially within the United States, politics are going to be either going to be a forbidden topic or it's going to be the only topic. And if you have a family that is not exactly functional in its ability to have a differing viewpoint, you're either going to have people who are going to be constantly combative, or they're just bitching within an echo chamber. And there's an ask within here. You being yourself is going to be very important because you're intermixing your beautiful energy with karmic people. And if you feel the need to lie, if you feel the need to compress yourself and not be willing to sit within your own energy and just allow everyone else to be who it is that they are, like, you're in a karmic loop. You're on this karmic path. So if that's said, like, what's sort of the final outcome? Like, what kind of karmic path are we ejecting you from? Like, I feel like this entire reading is confirmation of what kind of karmic path you're on. So what is it that you can do to ensure that you're going to be properly ejected? Like, I'm hearing, well, oh yeah, Saturn's going to be going direct on the 15th in Pisces. Piscean energy is sort of the master teacher, been there, done that. But Saturn is also, they talk about the taskmaster. You're going to be gifted an opportunity to really see the situation for what it is, not to be a judgmental little bitch. You know that plenty of people around you behave this particular way. And it's one of these things where if you don't indulge it, then you're not participating. It's sort of like stepping away from something and just not participating. In some ways, if you were the chatty Cathy, learning to be the quiet and stoic one will actually be your secret weapon for the upcoming holidays. What do we have down here? Got the Hermit. There's I just got these chills. Like, don't get me wrong, like, my son's in Gemini. I got so many placements in Gemini. Like, I could talk about all day long, but why would I do that? Because blah, 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 blah. The struggle is real. You're a communicator by nature, but there's two levels of communication. There's outpouring of education. Interesting. I think a few of you guys have some higher education wounding that needs to be resolved, but also being receptive. Gemini isn't just about telling people and communicating, it's being curious. There's an ask within here. If there's something within your soul that's kind of resonating outside of the usual norm, ask questions about it. You can ask yourself the questions like, man, like, is this what it is that I truly believe? What is it about this person that makes them feel so hyped up about this opinion? How is it that one person could believe this thing, but that person could believe the opposite? You're actually getting more observational, which is totally the 2024 mantra. There we go. The Wheel of Fortune. Like, this is also a karmic path along with the karmic path here. But this is sort of a series of unfortunate events to orchestrate for the answer. You've been looking for the answer because you've been afraid of being the enemy, or you've been afraid of being that person You've been afraid of secretly leaving yourself behind because you've been slowly trying to find, not slowly, you've been secretly trying to find a hero, the knight in shining armor, somebody who can rescue you from the bullshit. But unfortunately, you've just magnetized an entire tribe who they're all trying to find the hero. They're constantly trying to find a hero. Like, there's hero worship in here. This is putting celebrities and politicians and well-known people way too high on a pedestal. This is competitiveness. This is feeling as though you're gonna get lost if you don't know how to stand out in the crowd, but the crowd is an echo chamber screaming at itself, and you're breaking free from that. Three of Swords. You have been avoiding some, You've been avoiding some you've been avoiding, like, that's 5 of Wands, you've been avoiding the conflict. You know that once you speak up for yourself and you decide just to be the person who it is that you are, it's like the first day that you disagree with your dad. No one ever disagrees with him. Like, which, some of you's like, I love disagreeing with my dad, for which I say, touche. But there's something almost subversive or even sacrilegious speaking up against somebody in authority and having the differing opinion, and you're not doing it to what's the word? You're not doing it to rock the boat for rocking the boat's sake. It's just you saying, I actually believe this. I think what you're saying is ridiculous, and I believe it this way. Which, if everyone wants to get angry at you and send you home early, I mean, at least you got yourself a free meal and a lot of free time out of it. Like, there is a light at the end of this particular tunnel. But as we wrap up today's message for Gemini, I am actually really excited for you because while you're kind of dealing with moving forward with what it is that's going to happen, even though you know what's going to happen, acknowledging what it is you're walking into, that is a form of divine protection. You don't want to keep repeating this unhappy loop, and you want to be a way shower. Because I suspect, because we did see a Page of Cups a little bit earlier, a few of you have children and naive energies that are really going to learn from your wonderful example in the grand scheme of things. This is breaking family karma. This is reforming what family means to you and no longer feeling as though you need to tie yourself to karmic transactional relationships, all in the name of your sense of safety and security. After all that, we got the Lyran Stargate. Ancestry, courage, wisdom, and empathy. Can you just trust during this holiday season you do have the full support of your well ancestors? Pay attention to your dream state. Pay attention to the signs and synchronicities around you. Pay attention to the narratives that you are spewing in the back of your mind, and pay attention to other people's narratives as well. As long as you stay introspective, Lyran energy is kitty cat energy. Being able to kind of sit back, kind of put your paws on the table, and just be willing to listen to what it is that people say. Like, when you're willing to listen, people are willing to indulge all kinds of information. Past version of you might have used it against them, but you're just being asked to use this for your own counsel, for your own wisdom, so that you can finally break ancestral patterns, societal karma, and finally be able to get yourself back onto a path that is happy and fulfilling. I'm just saying. Woo! Well, Gemini, wherever it is that you are at, damn, I sincerely hope that this helped. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you like my style, please make sure to like the video on the way out. If you're kind of curious about the next message, please support my brand new baby little channel and subscribe. And until I see you at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries. Bye!